partnership with various hospitals to conduct more such workshops under the Society for Development and Implementation of Professional Curriculum for Communication in Healthcare. Society for Development and Implementation of Professional Curriculum for Communication in Healthcare, in collaboration with National Board of Examination in Medical Science, have organized this workshop. As a doctor, I know how the communication is very important, and as WHO mentions that 8 to 38% of medical professionals at any point of their profession, they face physical violence and verbal violence. So particularly, and they say it is because of poor communication. And I can narrate one incident. When I was a medical student at Tanjavur Medical College, one patient was admitted with symptoms of myocardial infarction. And the whole team of medical specialists, particularly the intensivist, they tried hard and treat him, and he was out of danger. And the next day when the cardiologist went for rounds, the patient was in an irritating mood, and he expressed to the cardiologist, I am having such a big problem, you doctors didn't solve that problem at all. Then the cardiologist said, you came with such a big problem and we have solved the problem. Why you are telling? What are you telling? No, I have not passed my stools since morning. What is this? You have not solved my problem. He was unable to find out, and because of that, it's not communicated properly, that he was saved from such a big problem. He was thinking that not passing his constipation is the major problem, was the major problem which he was facing. And as my personal experience, my husband is a nephrologist, and I was practicing, even though I'm a gynecologist, I was practicing fetal medicine and sonology because my special interest is sonology. And once he referred a patient to me for a second opinion. That patient actually was reported normal by scan center, and he wanted a second opinion because the patient had some typical symptoms. Then I found out renal tuberculosis, which was a little difficult to find by the ultrasound, but because of my experience, I found it could be renal tuberculosis, and I gave the report. That patient was arguing without knowing that I am wife of Dr. Soundararajan. No, I don't want to believe the second doctor's opinion. I want to believe only the first doctor's opinion. The first doctor, the scan report only would have been normal, correct. But this doctor's opinion, I think it is wrong. Then my husband asked why. No, that doctor was scanning for more than 1 hour. This doctor just kept the probe for 5 minutes and she is telling, I am suffering from some other disease. So the communication, my husband used to tell, even though you diagnose, putting the probe with your experience, even though you diagnose very early that what is the problem, but you keep the probe on the abdomen and smear it for a few minutes so that you communicate the patient that you are very sincerely doing your scan. So in spite of your experience, you do that. That is the communication you convey to the patient that you are very serious about her, concerned about her disease, and just don't be very fast in doing, even though you are a very big expert. So that is the message. Then I have to tell another incident. When I started as a sonologist in a peripheral center, that is at Tanjavur. Once I said a patient came, and for studies of the prostate, I conveyed to him that you should come with full urine. In colloquial language we said. Next day when he came, the assistant asked whether you have come with full urine. I have come with full urine. Then I called the patient. The patient came and he opened a yellow bag and put one Horlicks bottle, second Horlicks bottle, third Horlicks bottle. Then he told, what is this? I asked. You only asked me to come with full urine, so I have taken all the urine and I have come. So, this is, even though this is a very simple incident, and this communicates us how communication is important. And how we have to communicate in a proper way. And another incident, once when we were doing rounds, one call came to our chief. One patient, one phone call came, and he went and picked the call, and then that other end of the call was inquiring about the patient in the bed number 10. Then he was asking what happened to the patient, what is the problem, and why, what treatment and all were given. Then the chief explained it, and he asked, may I know who is the person other end? No, I am the patient from the 10th bed only. When I am personally asking, no one was answering. So I called and then I was asking about the information. So these are the things we practically face because of loss of communication. And apart from whatever may be, the way we have to communicate, it is said that communication is 20% of the knowledge which you know, which is conveyed 80% with full of its satisfaction to the patient, so that when it is conveyed to the patient, when it is communicated to the patient, it solves the problem. And because of that only, even previously when we were students, and we were also from the next generation, my husband used to say, we used to palpate the patient, we used to percuss the patient, we have to take the temperature, we have to see the tongue, we have to see the eyes. These are not only for diagnosis, to communicate the patient that we are completely examining the patient. And the effective communication, it may not be long words, it's very short, because even as a sonologist, I used to tell the patient, no, after the scan, you are completely all right. No, doctor, when you were seeing my this side, your eyes were very widened. And when you saw this side, you were frowning your head. So I thought, seeing your face, something is wrong in me, in my abdomen. So that also a communication. Communication need not be words. Our body language itself conveys some communication. So when seeing the patient, when hearing the message from the patient, symptoms from the patient, be like a mask face. Keep a mask face. That is one of my advice, because I show too much of expressions. Then the patient asking, no, when you were seeing the right side, you were widening your eyes. When you were seeing the left side, you were frowning your head. So what happened? Now you are telling nothing is in my abdomen, everything is normal. So are you hiding something, doctor? So even our body language is a mode of communication. So as doctors, we should be very careful in such communication. Also, communication may be words, communication may be through our attitude, communication may be through our body language, and communication may be through our appearance. So these are the things which is, even though it appears so simple, it is more to the patient. So we have to be very careful in dealing with the patient. And I always say a story how sometimes communication can be very successful. Three country members selected, one African and one American, one Russian, one Indian, to excavate a piece of land and to find out what was the mode of communication during the ancient days. So they were digging, and the American got a wire, thick wire, and he was very happy. Oh, we had some mode of communication. The Russian had a thin wire. Then he also was very happy. Oh, we had also had a very good mode of communication. Indian was digging, and he didn't get anything. Then the researcher came and they wanted to submit the research activities. So the American told, I am very happy. During our ancient days, we had telegraph as the mode of communication. So thick wire I had during the excavation. Then the Russian told, we were having telephone communication because I got thin wire. Then they were laughing at Indians. So this fellow didn't get anything. What he is done. Then this fellow told, no, we were in the much advanced stage than these countries, because we were with communication was wireless. So we didn't get whatever he didn't get, he was able to communicate in a proper way. So he got the pride of that than the people who got the material of that excavation. So this is the communication. So whatever may be, because now the patients, and another thing, now as it is said by our president, national board, now the social media. My husband always say, because Tirukural, there is a proverb, Tirukural says, Tiruvalluvar says, communication should be like approaching a fire, particularly for medical professionals. You should not go much nearer to it, you cannot come much farther to it, because if you go nearer it, it will burn you. If you come farther than that, there won't be any communication. So in medical practice, that words are very apt, because if you are too much of communicative also, they immediately Google and say, doctor, you told this, Google says this, what is this? So which is correct? So nowadays there is another mode of communication for them, so that they can verify everything. Previously, doctors are respected as gods, and if they say something, patients usually they used to accept it. But now they have another mode of communication, and they Google and they have some communication, so that we should be very careful in communicating with them, so that facts should be conveyed to them in a right sense. But at the same time, in medical words, if they convey them, so it is very difficult for us to convey to them. And another problem which I also have faced, and I have noticed with other physicians also, when they are treating a patient, they will call one of the relative and communicate with them, this patient is having such diseases. Then the doctor would have been satisfied, so we have communicated to the family. After 5 minutes, another person will come. No, you have conveyed to a distant relative. I am only the nearby relative, so you communicate the problem to me. Then after communicating, that another person will come. No, you can convey to a distant relative. No, I am the daughter and son of him, so why don't you communicate? So my chief used to tell, who are all nearby, distant relative, everyone come as a group. I will communicate about the patient. So I have to narrate one incident. During when patient was admitted in ICU, then the patient was bleeding, and we wanted some 10 bottles of blood. So when we asked for blood, we were very difficult. It was very difficult. Not like today's, the recent days, we didn't have any blood banks and all. So when we thought of getting the blood, so we were toiling very hard to get the blood. So this patient was surrounded by all relatives, because it was an ICU setup. We were unable to get rid of the relatives. So we went and told our chief, we are unable to get rid of these patients' relatives. We are telling that this is ICU setup, you should not come near the patient. But these patients, no, I am the nearest relative, I am daughter, I am uncle. So that they are not going away from the patient. It's very difficult for us to get rid of these relatives. So our chief told, no, you go, this patient needs some 10 bottles of blood. You go to them and tell, who are the nearest relative, please donate 1 bottle of blood. You won't see any of them after 1 hour. So like that we went and told them. Then after, within few minutes, when I went to the ICU, nobody was there. Everyone ran away. So that type of communication. So sometimes communication may be positive, sometimes communication may be negative. So sometimes negative communication may be positive for us, sometimes positive communication may be negative for us. So these are the things which we have to have in mind. So practically, talking. Whatever maybe, even we can manage the patient with complications, but communication, if there is no any communication, the patient is not aware that they have faced such a complication and they were treated with such a complicating diseases, than if your simple communication is not conveyed to them. So communication is a great thing, and I have to appreciate the Apollo Hospitals and National Board of Examination for taking this as a subject. Because sometimes we think of great things and we lose concentrating on the simple things which will lead to complications. So communication is one among them, and I think I have communicated my information in an apt way by communicating in a simpler way. So I'm really very happy to be here. So communication can affect you, communication can correct you, communication may construct you, communication may caution you, communication make you courageous, and communication make you competent. Thank you so much.